Welcome back to the deep dive. We take all that source material, you bring us the articles, notes, curiosities, and we really try to turn it into focused, usable knowledge. So if your goal today is to, really get a handle on those language shortcuts that Native American English speakers use all the time, those little phrases that can make or break how fluent you sound, well, you're definitely in the right place. We've got five foundational idioms here. They pop up everywhere, really. Boardroom meetings, casual chats, you name it. And the tricky part is, you might know every single word, but put them together and suddenly the meaning shifts and, well, you could get lost. Our mission, to unpack these fully. We're not just after the dictionary definition. We want the nuance, the feeling, the context. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and for you, the learner, this is so crucial. It's kind of the difference maker, isn't it? Textbooks give you grammar, sure, but idioms, that's where you get the culture. If you miss these phrases, you risk sounding, I don't know, maybe a bit too formal, or even worse, you might completely misunderstand what someone's actually saying, even if they're being polite. So we want to give you that insight, that shortcut, so you can skip the awkwardness and just feel, oh, more comfortable joining in.
Absolutely. Let's dive straight in then. First up, a phrase all about starting things off. To break the ice. Now, most people probably get the basic idea, starting a conversation, especially when things feel a bit stiff or new. But think about how often that happens, new teams at work, training sessions, parties where you don't know any. It's like constantly relevant.
It really is. And what's interesting, I think, is the figurative weight there. When you break the ice, you're not just saying hi. You're actively doing something to lower the tension, right? That make people feel okay about talking. It's like you're consciously trying to make things less formal.
That totally makes sense. I've seen managers kick off a meeting with some random question like, what's the best thing you watched this week?
Hmm.
Or something. That's purely trying to break the ice before they get into the serious stuff.
Exactly. It's about melting that initial freeze. Or think about, say, a networking event. Everyone's just standing around. The host might suggest a quick intro game. That's the tool, the mechanism, to shatter that surface formality so people can actually connect.
Okay, so if I'm in a new situation, maybe a committee meeting, how would I use it? Would I say, I'm going to break the ice with a joke?
Hmm. Probably not about your own action directly like that. It sounds a bit
Uh-huh.
planned. It's more natural to use it to explain the reason behind what you did. Like, things are a bit quiet, so I shared a quick story about my commute to try and break the ice. See the difference?
Ah, okay. Describing the purpose, that's a subtle but really important distinction for, sounding natural.
Exactly. You're talking about the strategy, not just announcing the move.
Right. Okay, moving on. Let's switch gears from social stuff to effort, maybe. Because the sources highlighted two phrases that are like perfect opposites. Let's start with the easy one. A piece of cake. Simple definition here. Something super easy to do, almost no effort needed. Always positive, right?
Pretty much. And when we dig into why cake, well, culturally, cake isn't work, is it? It's fun, it's easy to eat, it's enjoyable. Apparently, the phrase might have roots in the early 20th century, maybe military slang. Things like a cakewalk, meaning something simple. So, calling a task a piece of cake basically minimizes the effort down to zero. It implies it was almost like delightfully simple.
Pleasantly easy. I like that. So maybe I just set up some new software and the instructions were great. I could tell someone, I thought installing that app would be a nightmare, but honestly, piece of cake.
Perfect. But here's a little nuance. If something actually took you, say, 4 solid hours, but you finished it, calling it a piece of cake afterward, that kind of implies you're either super skilled or maybe you're downplaying the effort a bit. It can be a subtle brag.
Huh. I can see that. The humble brag potential. Okay, so if that was easy, what about the total opposite? When you really, really need to focus and put in the work, that leads us to hit the books. Meaning, study hard, really seriously. This isn't just flicking through notes.
Right. And that word hitting, we need to unpack that. It's not physical, obviously. It implies intensity, like you're really engaging deeply with the material. You hear it constantly with students, especially around exams or professionals studying for like certifications. It suggests you're clearing your schedule, maybe saying no to social stuff, and just dedicating yourself. Total focus.
So if a friend asks you out Friday night, but you've got a huge final coming up, you wouldn't just say, I have to study. You'd say, sorry, can't make it. Got to hit the books.
Yeah.
It signals the seriousness immediately.
Absolutely. That's the core of it. Hitting the books often implies a sacrifice. You're prioritizing study over leisure. You might say, to pass this exam, I really need to hit the books hard every night this week. It sets that expectation of intense effort.
Let's try putting those two, the ease and the effort, into a quick exchange. Okay, how about this?
Wow, you finished that huge project report already. I thought that'd take you ages.
Oh, once I figured out the database query, pulling the data was actually a piece of cake. Wrapped up the analysis in maybe 2 hours.
Seriously. That's amazing. I'm still stressing about my upcoming compliance test. Heard it's really tough.
Yeah, it can be. I took it last year. You'll definitely need to hit the books pretty hard for that one. Good luck.
Nice contrast there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift again. Let's talk about how often something happens. Or rather, doesn't happen. Next idiom, once in a blue moon. Meaning,
Yeah.
very rarely, super infrequently.
Yes. And what's fascinating here, the real deep dive bit, is the astronomy behind it. A blue moon isn't actually blue, usually. It's the term for the second full moon within a single calendar month. And because the lunar cycle is about 29.5 days, this only happens, every 2 or 3 years? So when you use the phrase, you're literally comparing the rarity of your action to a genuinely uncommon natural event. It really amps up the infrequency.
Whoa, okay, that's cool context. So it's not just a random poetic phrase. There's an actual, celestial cycle behind it. So using it implies something is so rare, it's almost surprising it happened at all.
Precisely. Like if someone asks if you ever bake and you almost always buy bread, you might say, oh, I bake bread maybe once in a blue moon. Meaning, practically never, maybe for a special occasion. It emphasizes how unusual it is for you.
Or think about a coworker who's usually really quiet, but then at the office party, they're suddenly the life of the party. You can say later, wow, Dave really came out of his shell tonight. That happens once in a blue moon.
Spot on. It often carries that little hint of surprise, like, look what happened.
Let's hear that rarity in just a quick chat. Maybe like, hey, did you ever get your brother to agree to visit you here in the city?
You won't believe it, but yes. Managed to talk him into it. He really dislikes big crowds, so him coming here happens once in a blue moon.
Wow, no kidding. Well, you better make the most of that rare visit then.
Oh, we plan to. Taking him to that fancy new restaurant he keeps hearing about.
Great example. Applying it to something totally out of the ordinary for someone. Okay, last one for today. This is probably one of the most useful for polite excuses. Under the weather. We hear this all the time. Pretty clear meaning feeling a bit sick, slightly unwell.
Right. And the deep dive insight here, the history, is thought to be nautical, from sailing ships. Apparently, when sailors felt seasick or just unwell during rough seas, they'd be sent below deck to rest. Literally under the main weather deck, away from the wind and rain and waves.
No way. That's amazing. Like the earliest form of sickbay.
Sort of, and it connects perfectly to how we use it now. It's almost always for minor things, a headache, bit of a cold, feeling run down. You would not say you're under the weather if you're seriously ill, like with pneumonia or something major. It downplays it.
And, maybe more importantly, it's such a useful social tool, right?
Yeah.
Very professional, very polite. If I need to cancel plans or call out from work, I don't have to list my symptoms. I can just say, sorry, feeling a bit under the weather today.
Exactly. It gets the message across, I'm not up to it, without oversharing, Avoids that TMI, too much information that can make people awkward. It sets expectations. I'm out of action, but it's probably not serious.
Quick question, though. How formal is it? If I'm emailing, say, a very important client I've never met is under the weather, okay? Or is it too casual?
Oh, that's a really good point. It is very common, very standard. But you're right, in super formal written communication, maybe writing to a high court or royalty, you might choose something like indisposed or maybe slightly unwell. But honestly, for probably 99% of everyday business emails, even to senior people, under the weather is totally fine. It's standard, polite shorthand.
Good to know. Okay, let's hear it. Used to cancel something.
How about, hi, Sarah, just checking, are you still okay to lead that training session tomorrow morning?
Oh, hi, Mark. I really wanted to, but I woke up feeling pretty rough. Bit of a headache. Just generally feeling a bit under the weather today. I don't think I can focus properly.
Oh, no worries at all, Sarah. Please just rest up. We can easily get someone else to cover the session.
Thanks so much, Mark. I appreciate it. I should be fine by Wednesday, hopefully. Okay, so we've zipped through 5 really essential American English idioms today. We hit the definitions, some surprising origins, and those crucial conversational nuances. So what does this all mean for you listening in? Just a quick recap. To break the ice getting things started socially. Once in a blue moon, super rare thanks to that actual moon cycle. A piece of cake, delightfully easy. To hit the book's serious, intense study. And under the weather, the polite way to say you're feeling mildly ill thanks to those old sailors.
And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, just recognizing these phrases when you hear them, that helps you decode native speech much faster. It cuts down on that confusion you get from trying to translate word for word. Knowing these is a real key, I think, to boosting your fluency and just feeling more confident in conversations.
Right. So now for the challenge part, we really want you to take this from just listening to actually doing. Try it out. Make your own sentences using maybe 2 of these idioms. How about the contrasting pair, a piece of cake, and 3 to hit the books? Think about your own life, your work, your hobbies. Write down a couple of sentences using them in a totally new context that fits you. Because that deliberate practice, that application, that's what makes the difference between just hearing it and actually owning it, you know?
Absolutely. So until next time, keep your ears open for all those hidden stories tucked away in everyday language.